I'm going to share an approach with you that has completely changed the way I help my son manage his big emotions. Not only has this approach changed the way that I relate to my son, but it has also become a way that I help to diffuse situations from turning into something bigger. So this approach comes from the clinical psychologist named Daniel Siegel, who has written multiple titles about the development of the brain. His pioneering approach really focuses on the cognitive function of the brain as a way to help children regulate their emotions. So it's based on a lot of scientific facts versus just opinion or philosophies. His approach is called Connect and Redirect. What I will share with you is something that actually got caught on camera when I was filming something completely different with my son. And you will see how I take Daniel's approach and apply it with my son as a way to get him to not only calm down, but also I will break down the individual components of his approach so you can have an understanding of how it works and why it works. Sorry. So rubbing the back, gently holding a hand, or even giving a hug helps to reduce the stress hormone cortisol in the brain, and your touch actually increases the release of the feel-good hormone oxytocin. So just the simple act of physical touch has completely transformed the way that I connect with my son. By me implementing just a really simple technique of putting my hand on his back and rubbing his back actually has been one of the most effective ways I help him to calm down. Getting down to my son's level allows me to better connect with him by making eye contact, and also it's a non-threatening stance. And it's one of the things that I've learned about the brain is when we as parents hover over our kids or talk down at them, the way that the brain picks this up is actually it's seen as a threat. Are you feeling upset? Come to mommy. Come to mommy for a hug? So empathetic facial expression and a soft tone of voice isn't always easy, but it's also been super effective with my son. One of the things that I've learned is that infants actually learn to read our faces from birth, and this is one of the ways that they're able to read the world around them. So similar situations with toddlers, especially ones that can't communicate yet, they really pay attention to our facial expressions as a way to be able to tell whether a situation is threatening or non-threatening. So one of the key ways I get my son to actually relax is for me to relax my face and have a much more empathetic and softer voice when I speak with him when he's going through some of these more challenging emotional situations. Is this what's upsetting you? The cars inside the bar? Is that what's upsetting you? Yes, we have little boogies. Identifying the why versus focusing on the behavior is the idea that when my son is displaying really challenging emotions, such as him flailing his body or screaming, hitting, kicking, or throwing things across the room, the way that I'm understanding it from Daniel Siegel and what he teaches parents is that a lot of the big emotions that we feel as humans come from the lower part of the brain called the amygdala. And that's where a lot of our big emotions come from. One of the ways that we can help children regulate their emotions is when we engage their prefrontal cortex. So the prefrontal cortex is right here, the front of your brain, and that is where a lot of our rational thinking, logic, and empathy come from. So one of the ways that you may have noticed is I'm actually just playing back to my son something that I'm seeing. Wow, you look like you're upset because you stuck your foot in this. So what I'm doing there is he listens and he understands everything that I'm saying. So what we're actually doing is we're moving from the downstairs part of the brain, the primal side of the brain, and we're moving up the prefrontal cortex, which is logical thinking. You want to try again? No, you don't want the card? Okay, I'm gonna put the card here, okay? So sometimes what I just really need to do is allow my son to ride out some of these more challenging emotions. What I refrain from doing is judging him or telling him to stop. Just knowing that this particular emotion is probably gonna last maybe 30 seconds, maybe 60 seconds. And I'm just there by his side, supporting him. And when he's ready to engage, we can do so. Oh, Tano, looks like you hit yourself with this little bar. That looks like that really hurt. Did that hurt? Yeah. I'm sorry. If you found this video useful, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're interested in more techniques and resources around emotional intelligence, I would love to hear from you. So drop me a comment down below and share with me what are some of the challenging situations that you encounter. I would love to make more of these videos and showing you how I apply a lot of these learnings together with my son. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.